Yes, hello. I've not done this before, but I would like to book an oil change. The name? Yeah. Generation Pixel. Thank you. I wonder if that's gone through. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. The Retro Bear is here alive and well, just about. In this video I'll be giving you an update of what I've been up to the last couple of months, talking through a few things. I've got something to show off as well, which has been sitting on the floor for a very, very long time. And my advice to Stu is, if you were watching that, mate, and you haven't seen The Assassin yet, I'd probably run for the hills. Until then, we'll talk to you after these, or these, or these, or these. Well, some of those. Well, I hope you can all see me and hear me okay, because it's been a long time since I've been up here and done here. It's been 2 months nearly, I think now. I've been middle end of July today, 29th, actually the end of July, not the middle end, the end of July. It's been nearly 2 months. Yes, welcome back to the gaming pantry. This is the Retro Bear in full living colour. And yeah, I just thought I'd do a video to let you know that I'm still here, just about. It's been a funny couple of months. And to bring you up to date what's been going on or what hasn't been going on, more the case to be, in the world of us, I suppose, really. If I'm a bit sort of, I've got some hearing issues going on at the moment on the right hand side, so although no one's talking to me on my right side at the moment, there's no room, I'm sort of quite deaf in this ear at the moment, so I'm trying to sort of establish my volume in terms of talking to people, which I don't seem to be getting very very right at home at the moment, because most people who've been to business know that where me and Mrs. Bear sit, and she sits on that side, so it's actually been a very quiet few weeks, because I can hardly hear what she's saying, plus the fact that she's not been very well, I've not been very well, and I'll get to all that as we go along. In fact, should we deal with that first of all? Or there's a few things I want to talk about today. It's going to be one of those, nicely split up videos into little sections. So what have I been doing in the last couple of months? Well, there's been a lot of stuff going on at work, which I've mentioned previously, but I haven't really touched upon too much. But now we're off, so we're sort of nearly 4 months into it. Just to sort of give you a little bit of an update on that. Explain why things have been a bit quiet, really. And I've been sort of focused elsewhere. We've actually been taken over at work. We've now got new owners. The company this year was turning 100 years old, and finally the existing directors and family decided to step aside and put the business in the hands of other people, which has been interesting, because apparently they've been trying to move the business on for some time, and it was very, very touch and go as to whether or not somebody would actually step in and sort of want to take over and run it. So we could have been looking at potentially being out of a job, which is, I remember hearing this rumour going back a few months. I thought, that can't be right. I can't imagine them ever sort of selling the business and dropping out altogether. I'm just going to alter that slightly. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, the conversation happens that that potentially that could have been easily on the cards. So from where we might have been to what we are now, it's all a bit weird. We've got new management team come in. They haven't made many changes yet. They're trying to keep the status quo, as you would do, and then obviously look to introduce things. But there's been certain changes going on, and is it a move for the best? I think so. I think, so the company in existence for 100 years has got to move forward somehow, and I think with a new team on board, with new ideas, new eyes, and plenty of experience in the field that we work in retail and service, and the new people coming in have that. So in a way, it's not so bad. It's not somebody in our field who've taken us over, so they haven't got their own people they want to bring in, although the new team that have come in have all worked together before previously, and when we've added new people to the team, it's people they've known, brought in rather than just plucked from general population. So it's been quite a strange sort of 6 months or so, but you're always in a situation, you keep your head down, make yourself useful and get on with stuff. So that's what we've been doing, and I think certain areas we'd already made a difference, so it's nice. It's actually, I think this is the first proper time off I've had since all that went through at the start of April. I was off at Easter, but that was very much sort of I probably could do with having a week off, because if I don't get a week off now I might not get another one, because there were still things going on, handovers and whatever, and we had a couple of people leave, which is, it's a shame when the old team breaks up a little bit, but a lot of us have been there a very long time, so new step forward and get behind everybody, we should be okay, and I think we will be. It's still very quiet work-wise, but we know, talking to other people in the same fields and the same sectors, it's exactly the same for them. Plus the fact that somebody at work found out I've got a YouTube channel, which is really annoying me, because I am somebody who likes to keep work in a little box over there and my other life in a little box over here, and never the twain shall meet. But no, someone actually found out that I had got a YouTube channel. I'd mentioned it before at work. I told people I did YouTube. I didn't tell them what I did, and I didn't tell them what the channel name is, because I don't want, it'd be nice. I just don't want people digging into this. This is my thing between me and you, and that's it. I don't get involved. I'm like that with work generally. I've got to work to, bottom line, I've got to work to pay my bills to live. I don't go to work because I'm not one of these people, these very strange people said, oh yeah, I love doing my job. Really? Okay, great, fantastic, I'm really pleased for you. My job is a job. It keeps a roof over me, puts food on the table, allows me to do other stuff like collect crap. So that's what that is. But yeah, I've sworn them the secrecy. For God's sake, don't tell anybody else. It's all because something to do with Mrs. Bear had made an inquiry, and I said, don't speak to me about it. I don't want to know, nothing to do with me. Speak to her directly. And then he heard I got a YouTube channel. He put two and two together. He went searching for retro repair bear on eBay, not on eBay, on YouTube. What did he on eBay for? On YouTube, and then for some reason linked it back. He got linked back to my channel, probably because I mentioned it so many times. And there we go. So yeah, and I said, well, if you want to watch some of the stuff, but for goodness sake, don't go and tell everybody at work I've got a YouTube channel, because I like to keep that side of it separate. He hasn't done so, from what I can tell so far, anyway. That might sound like a bit defeatist. I'm a bit embarrassed about doing something like this. Not at all. I just like, the job I've got. I can get to work in 10 minutes. I can get home in the evening in 10 minutes. I'm back home before 5 o'clock each day, and then I don't have to worry about work in between going home and going back the next morning. And the way we're doing things now, it's a lot different to how things were done before, so it's even more like that, which is great. Suits me down to the ground. Just not going to get very far in life. It's too late for that now. I've never get very far in life at my time of age anyway. So so that's pretty much one thing which has been sort of playing on the old mind so far this year anyway. That gives you an idea of perhaps where my focus has been a little bit at the start of it. Now, you might not think one of these videos turns out to be all gaming and stuff like that, don't you? If you remember, the last sort of gaming stuff I did was talking about playing some N64. And I got the stuff out, and I haven't really touched it, to be fair. Actually, no, I haven't really touched it. I haven't touched it. So I'm going to put some N64 gameplay videos up. Haven't really done it. I've hardly been up here. I'm surprised the place just isn't covered in cobwebs and filth and muck. I mentioned I was going to try and do a bit of work in here. I started doing that. I did move some stuff around, and then I got snookered. And then my plan won't actually now work with what I wanted to do, so everything's pretty much as it was when I left it in April, May time. Yeah, it's a bit of a hole up here at the moment, I have to say. So that's still very much a work in progress. I guess it probably will be. I don't know. I've not been to any game shops or game events or anything like that. Just haven't felt the need to. I think it comes from that point in time where you think, do I really need all this other stuff? Do I need anything else? Not really. That's not a general sort of moaning again. It's not. It's just how it has been. It's been like this, as most of you know, for at least 15 months now. At least 15 months, and it's very much the case. It's not really shifted properly. Don't know. I think it's just, am I growing out of the hobby? I hate to say it. I hope that's not the case. I put far too much time and effort into doing something like this. I keep looking around. I still get great comfort sitting here, but I just don't sit here enough to do it or feel like it. It's been, the last couple of months or so, I've just been focused on other things, for the work thing, and then various bits and pieces going on. I spend a lot of time sat in front of the telly, which is probably not good. It's not good on my waistline, that's for sure. But that's what I spend a lot of my time doing. So we watched a lot of TV series, been a lot of events on. We're watching. Mrs. Bear, bless her, she's been glued to the cricket all summer. The England-India series, she's been watching that. So we've been watching that together. What else? The football, the women's football. Congratulations to the Lionesses. Fantastic achievement once again. And we've watched all that. I think apart from a couple of games in some other groups, but I didn't watch every single game. But we've been there pretty much from start to finish. And of course, you got 2 games a day, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock for the first week or so of the tournament. So, sort of get home from work and it's on, and then have me tea, and then it's on again after that. Before you know it, it's 10 o'clock in the evening's gone again. That's just the way I am. I've got to try and break my habits a little bit. But there is some gaming stuff. I did actually bring this in. I don't think, in fact, I know I haven't shown this off yet. I can't even remember I bought it now. I did record a couple of videos to try with the intention of actually doing some comparisons and gameplay from it, but I just never got round to do it. You'll know why, because it's still in the packet. And I can't remember. It's probably got to be going back to April, May time. It's got to be. I can't even remember when I filmed it. I never actually published the video because I didn't finish it. I never finished it. And I saw this on Amazon and I thought, wow, that was a good price. I thought, I'm never going to see it at that price ever again. I don't think it has been. I think I got it for 50 quid, something like that. This is the extent of just how bad you can get into this. You spend 50 quid on something which has basically been sitting on the floor in here for about 4 months and still not open yet. I don't know why. I'm going to open it at some point. But I did pick up one of these mini consoles again. Not the one you might be thinking of. I've got here the what it was called now. the Atari 400 Mini. Purely because the price was so good. The price has been consistently high on this thing. It's always been in the £80 to £100 bracket, and then for one reason it dropped down to 50 quid, and I thought, I'm never gonna see it probably that low again. It's not one that it's one of these that came out and I thought, I'm immediately not interested in this. But because I've never had no nostalgia for it, no nostalgia for this system at all whatsoever. But for some reason I just thought 50 quid is too good an opportunity to pass up. I'll just show you the back of the box there, but it's got some decent stuff on. I am an Atari fan, so this is going to sort of work. It's one of these you can load your own stuff into as well. Classic 8-bit Atari games. I wish I could read some of these off the back here. Star Raiders 2, Berserk, Bruce Lee, Miner 2049er, Mule, Millipede. That takes 25 odd games built into it. I thought it'd be good to have an explore on it and see what it was like, but it's still in the box, in the packet, which hasn't been opened yet. So I may still actually resurrect that video. I don't know. I think when I recorded it, it was still dark nights, or the nights had not gone very long light. I can't remember anyway. But so that's the latest and the only edition in the last few months or so. But yeah, I was going to do because I've obviously got the Atari 2600 Plus, which I bought. I also found my old flashback, my Atari flashback console, and I'd also got the old original 6-switcher Atari 20 VCS, which I wanted to get out and do a comparison between all three, but no, I just never got around to it. I may do it one day. I may do it. But that's it. But no, I bought nothing gaming-wise. I said, I showed off the last story, which Gordon sent me in the last video, and that's it, really. But yeah, I've not loaded anything up. I've not really felt the need to. I always think perhaps if I tidy things up in here a bit, it'll inspire me, move stuff around to actually do things. But I've been saying that for at least 15 months now. Yeah, I'll get Commodore Corner set back up here, and it'll inspire me to do that. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? But yeah, it's a bit of a mess in here at the moment. It feels a bit unloved and a bit uncared for. Which is unlike me. I've always put this first. It seems to be sort of like it's the last thing I want to be doing. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, but I'm hopeful I can motivate myself to try and do a few more bits and pieces in the meantime. Anyway. So in terms of upcoming events and things to go, I mentioned that I hadn't done anything like that. There have been a few local ones. In Birmingham was back on the 18th of May, gaming market and what have you. We just remember that this time last year, in June anyway, I remember that was the start of June, time just flown by. Last year was Revival, hasn't been one this year. It's a bit of a shame really, because that was a really good event. But I noticed that there was some real apathy towards gaming markets. A few people put videos out about saying how generalised they're sort of becoming, with people selling, 3D printed tattoo plushies and cards and basically stuff that wasn't gaming related. And I know Stu, YouTube's resident angry old man shouts at clouds videos, which he does so well. He's so good at them. He's calling the market and that. To UK, I'm talking about Stu. And it's tricky, isn't it? If these people who are organising all these gaming markets, there are quite a lot of them now, I must be honest. You used to think, it used to be the event. I mean, I went to all the early Birmingham ones, but I haven't been to one in about 2.5 years. And I remember thinking, we're watching some of these videos, people say these comments, you've got to put yourself in the position of the organisers. They get these big halls and whatever. They've got to fill in with people. And obviously the traders come first. Then people say not enough private sellers. Depending on the price of the tables, don't you? I mean, one thing people complain about now with these things is entrance fees and price of the tables. If they're going up and up and up, which they are, it prices certain people out. So perhaps private sellers thinking, well, I'm going to throw down 100 quid for a table, and they collect the kind of rubbish I do. They ain't going to have much chance of making 100 quid back, are they? And again, you don't know walking in some of these places if you can have a good day or a bad day. But it's all this backlash against. You've got to fill them. You've got to offer people tables. Otherwise, you're going to have either half full venues, and you're going to go back to holding these things in like school halls or community centres or whatever. Yeah, that's not the right way to do it. So I can see both sides of the argument. And for me, if I walked into a gaming market and 40-50% of the tables were not gaming related, and it was the same traders who bought the same stuff to the last fair I went to, then I'd be a bit disappointed. But at the same time, you've got to take these things for what they are. The big venues and the big catchment areas like London, Doncaster, whatever, you're going to have people taking the good stuff. The smaller markets, the little ones, that they're not established ones or running in small venues, are only going to have a limited number of people who are only going to take basically, well, let's just take the general stuff with us and sell it that way. Yeah, and that's one of the criticisms I see levied at Dana and Ant's Black Country Gaming Fair. Oh, well, they don't, none of the big stuff's there. It's all generic, 360, PlayStation 2, etc., etc. Because they know that sort of stuff will go there. They're going to take that stuff. They ain't going to take the super rare, expensive Japanese stuff, because you don't simply get the footfall through these things. As you would do at, say, Doncaster or Birmingham or London. So they've got to adapt to that, And the last thing you want to do is hack a load of really expensive stuff with you and sell none of it, and people turn up saying, "Oh yeah, you pay PS2, mate." No, I bought the rare Japanese stuff. Oh no, I don't want that. It's very niche, isn't it? And yeah, you just got to strike the balance right. I can see both sides to the argument. Yeah, if it was full of plastic tat and rugs, and seem to be very popular at the moment, and things like that weren't really gaming related, or have a loose connection to gaming, then when I go to a game market, I want to look at games and I want to look at consoles and computers and stuff like that. Not really interested in other stuff. I want to see that sort of thing. I have very little interest in that, but I don't complain about it. If it's it is what it is. I went to the last one I went to, the Black Country Game Fair in March. I went as rather than the table there, which is bearing your table. We went as general public, which we're very good at doing. We're very good at that. And only because I had a giant wad of cash that I wanted to get rid of, which has been sitting in my pocket since December. Which, to be honest with you, probably would still be sat there if I hadn't spent it all that day. But I wanted to buy it on what I would perceive the bits of, PlayStation 2 bits and what have you, and things for the Xbox collection and what have you that I would normally have picked up probably elsewhere for about the same price, but all things I hadn't seen before, and just do that, It's very, I was happy to do that. I spent a lot of money that day and got a nice little haul. I was very happy with that. I thought, well, that's good. That hadn't done that for ages, But I think I've been to the Birmingham Game Market before and spent £4. Not because of a Titos, well, I'm a Titos, but not because of the reason of that. It's just because I didn't see anything else there that I wanted apart from a £4 Commodore 64 compilation. So, swings and roundabouts. So don't be too hard on the gaming fairs. They are there for a reason. But if the organisers, and I believe they have been listening to people's feedback, and you've got to listen to feedback. You've got to have constructive criticism. Criticism, yes, but constructive criticism. I'm sure a balance can be struck, but at the moment, I've got no real interest in going there. But that's the same with anything gaming related at the moment, anyway. Speaking of which, there is a Black Country Gaming Market coming up at the end of October, I think it is, 26th. I'm pretty sure that's the date in the diary at the moment, which will be at the Robin R&B again. We all know it's not the greatest venue in the world, but it serves a function, and there's enough traders under the roof there to get there, enough people to come in and out. And I mean, so we were there for most of the day last time, and the traders, I think, all had a reasonable day out. So yeah, it is. So we look forward to. We'll be there. Mrs. Bear will have a table. She's have a table this time, so we're back behind the selling side of things. So if you do see us come over, I'll talk about it more when we get close to the time anyway. But so real apathy towards game. Yeah, let them be. Don't. We're very good in this little area of building stuff up and then tearing it down straight away. And we've got to stop doing that. These things are there because they're not there. They go away. Then people's access to this sort of stuff diminishes. People moan about the fact that, I say moan, they don't moan because you can't help where you live, but they say, oh well, I've got to drive 30, 40, 50 miles, or I live in the middle of nowhere, the nearest CEX is about 40 miles on that way. I've got to spend an entire day going there, a 2-hour round trip or something like that to go to CEX. If I want to go to CEX. Whereas the game market's coming here, that's great because it's only 10 miles down the road and whatever. But the thing is, if they complain about it, then they're going to take them away, aren't they? So, do we think there's too many gaming markets and events? Probably. We've seen a real explosion since COVID finished. And they were just beginning to ramp up before COVID. It's at the start again, but they really accelerate. There's way too many. I can't keep up with them. It's almost like there's one every other weekend at the moment, which is an awful lot. But they are there to serve a purpose, and we've got to stop knocking these things down. Yeah, so pretty much that's it, but just wanted to sort of give you a health update really as well, because we've been struck down by the good ship COVID. Yes, I did make a remark about that, I think in my last video. I was saying, yeah, COVID, you remember that was quite popular about 5 years ago. Yeah, it's been very popular around here as well. Couple of 3 weeks ago, it was really, really hot on that weekend. It was about 30 odd degrees. I'd gone to work as normal on the Friday morning, feeling absolutely fine, and then about 10:30, I sort of felt like crap. I really felt absolutely awful. My limbs was aching. I was getting a pain across the back of me lower back, across my kidneys, and I was like, God, I feel really terrible. I thought, well, perhaps this is hay fever. Maybe it's hay. I don't know. I just felt really sort of tired and washed out. And I thought, well, maybe it's the heat. Maybe I'm not drunk enough. That wasn't the case, because I'd drunk one of them. I got like a 2-litre bottle. I take a 2-litre bottle to take to work. And I drunk one of those by sort of 11 o'clock in the morning on that day. So I thought, it can't be I'm not drinking enough. And I'd drunk the other one before within a couple of hours as well. And I'd have moved on to actually filling it up with some more water. So it wasn't because I was drinking stuff. I thought, well, maybe a bit of heat exhaustion or something. Anyway, but 1:30 come on the Friday, and me guy I work with, he said, look, go home. He said, you went well. Is everything done for Monday? I said, yeah, everything's in the book for Monday. It's all sorted, you know. He said, well, rather than go home. He said, go and put your feet up, get in front of the fan for a couple of hours. So I got, okay, fair enough. So I went home early. I don't like going home early if I'm not well, but I'm not well, and I really wasn't well. I was sweating and stuff, and it was like, just not pleasant. I don't like it when it's like that. I don't mind it when it's in the early mid-20s, but when we hit sort of the late 20s, early 30s, that's when I really start to struggle. Can't cope with that. So I got home. We got some Lucozade Sport, the old isotonic electrolyte drinks on the go. Sat myself down in front of the fan. The cricket was on. So I thought, well, I'll sit down and I'll just sort of sit here and watch the cricket for a bit and cooling off. And Mrs. Bear was squirting me with one of them bottle, like spritzing me every sort of like half an hour, just going around just like spraying me with cold water. I'm not a plant, get off, It was nice, don't get me nice and cool, but that was it. And then I spent the weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday that weekend, and this is the first weekend in July, this was, so I'm just trying to work out where we are now. 29, 28, 29, yeah, about the I don't know. I can't remember what date it was. So I'm sort of doing it. If I can work it out, can I work it out? Yeah, probably it was the 5th. I'm guessing so. 5th, 12th, maybe the 12th. I don't know, 12th of July, that weekend. So anyways, I've done that. So Monday comes, I thought, coming up, and I thought, well, I feel better now. So I'll go to work on the Monday. It's still hot. But then Sunday night, I got this searing pain in my throat. It was absolute agony. I just literally couldn't swallow. Couldn't swallow at all. And lying in bed at night was an absolute nightmare, because I feel like I'm constantly trying to swallow all the time. And every time I swallowed, it just was sitting there. It just wouldn't go. So I was like to cough it, swallow, and then cough it back up again. So you're in a cycle. So I couldn't get to sleep, so I came downstairs. I felt like I just couldn't get to sleep. I felt like I was drowning. So I sat down in the chair, put the fan on, spritzing myself with water, as you do. And I probably got maybe 2 couple of hours sleep. And this throat thing to keep me going. So I said to Claire, so I'll have to phone the doctors. I said I can't go with this. I've had no sleep for like 48 hours. It's ridiculous. So I found the doctors first thing Tuesday morning. Oh, well, that's a joy, isn't it? Try and get there. Yeah. Ring the doctor at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yes, you are number 35 in the queue. What? 15 seconds past 8 o'clock and there's 34 people on the phone before me. How is that possible? It's physically impossible. Stop it. But I told the woman at the reception who answered the phone while I was ringing, and she said, oh, yeah, we can get your appointment at 20 to 10 on the same day. Wow. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I'll take that, thank you. So off I went to work, still unable to swallow properly. It was weird because I swallow properly. I had my tea the night before, and shoveling that down my neck, that was fine. Probably because I wasn't forcing it in there. I don't know whether it was just for the fact it just opened up. But as soon as I finished, it just went back to being, and I could feel all my glands on the Tuesday morning. I thought, oh, this feels terrible. So I went to the doctors, literally took one look down my neck and said, yep, you got tonsillitis. Tonsillitis at my age. So I've never had any problems with my tonsils. When I was little, I had what they call glue ear, which is you have to have your adenoids removed. I think I remember at school it was one of the two things: either you had your adenoids taken out or your tonsils taken out, and I was an adenoid kid. So that's what happened to me. Other people who've told me since that they had tonsillitis when they were a kid, it was I don't know how people cope with it. I really don't, because if that was happening to me every few months, I'd be absolutely on my knees. It was horrible. So the doc said, well, yeah. I said, well, what's the protocol for tonsillitis? Is it infectious? Well, it can be infectious, but there's no isolation to it or anything like that. She said my advice is just go home, plenty of liquid, plenty of rest. Oh, okay. That suits me. I could do drinking and lying about. That suits me. I'm quite happy with that. But obviously my concern was for Mrs. Bear, because on the Monday night when I came home from work, she was absolutely fine. Within an hour and a half of me getting home on the Monday night from work, she was like, "Oh, I don't feel very well." And I thought, I know exactly what this is, because this is exactly what happened to her when she had COVID back in 2022 and 2024. Neither of which were confirmed through a positive COVID test, but she definitely had it. And I know, because I think I had a touch of the COVID. It was after Revival last year. I had a touch of COVID, certainly. Probably about the same strength I had across that weekend. I didn't feel very well. Because by the Monday, apart from my throat, I felt fine. The headaches had stopped, the aching had stopped. I felt more myself. So I went back to work on the Tuesday after getting tonsillitis, and work struck a deal with me. Could you come in each morning and just make sure that everything's sorted out for the following day, and then once you've done that, if you want to knock off at lunchtime and get some rest, then they're happy to do so, because I still wasn't sleeping. So I sort of ended up doing that week. I think it was a Tuesday to the Friday. I think I did half days. It's nice, because I think I went home on the Wednesday. Went home about 2:30. Went for a lie down and didn't get up till 7:30. So I was obviously tired and affected by it. And the antibiotics I had for my throat within a couple of days had eliminated the pain. So I had to finish that course literally just gone Friday. For the 24th, 25th, literally finished the antibiotics that day. I had them for 10 days or something. It's a pain I don't want again, honestly. And as for Mrs. Bear, she's just literally, today, I think yesterday, Monday, Tuesday this week, the first day, she's actually felt very much more like herself. She's still got a bit of a cough, still got quite an angry sounding cough, but we both tested positive for COVID, which is the first time we've ever tested positive for COVID. Like I said, I think she's had it twice before, and I've certainly had it once before that I've known of. But I stopped testing positive on the 20th, I think it was, before I went back to work on the 21st. I did a test on the Sunday night, and I was absolutely fine. Great, fantastic. Ready to get back to work. I'm not back to work. I can now go without having to wear a mask, And nobody else has caught COVID to my knowledge at work either, so I must have done a very good job protecting people. So I'm pleased about that, because obviously, even if I was not having the symptoms, I was still probably carrying it. But she was still testing positive Sunday. She then tested again, I think it was once again. I think she tested again on Sunday just now, and she's still got a faint line. She's still got one positive line and one really faint line still. So I think we'll test her again this week to see if she's done. But yeah, she's been absolutely flat out on her back, laid up for the last 2 weeks with COVID. Really had it quite bad. I don't know how she's had it as bad as she has done. But I don't know where I've picked it up from. I couldn't even work out where I got it from, because that week I on the Friday when I fell ill, I think for about 3 days previously, I'd literally gone to work and come home again. Nobody else had it at work. So, you see, Revival, I can put my finger on it, but when she got it in 2022, I must have carried it in, but I didn't have it. I had no ill effects whatsoever. So I might have been infected with it and carried it and given it to her, because we didn't test at the time. We can't prove that I had it then. But she obviously got it from somewhere, and she got it from me. So, but yeah, so I'm only going to try and get this hearing problem sorted out. But yes, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Yeah, and that's really where we've been the last couple of months or so. Just broke it down to those little areas there. So yeah, sorry, not much gaming wise, but you know most people don't tune into the gaming wise. They come and listen to the waffle, don't they? Yes. So so where are we? So I'm off work this week. Got some gardening to do. I'm going to go and do that because it's yeah. I've not touched the garden this year apart from mowing the lawn a couple of times, and I really don't want to see how bad some of the areas are. There's a fair bit of work to do there. I'm not a gardener, and people who've seen my garden will go, will probably laughing and thinking the amount of work I've got to get through, and you'd probably be right. Yeah. And so I've got this week off, and then I'm back to work for 3 weeks, and I'm off again. So yes, hopefully get some gaming stuff done. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, appreciate you watching. Thank you very much indeed for doing so. Sorry it's been so long, but I shall talk to you when I've got something to talk about. No point in doing these things. You've got nothing to say, is there? Really, nothing to say. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you again soon. But until then, take care. Bye bye for now.